I wish that I was smart.
I wish that I was rich.
I wish it wasn't hard for me to grow up and forgive.
I wish that I could help. I wish I wasn't sick.
I wish I was Tom McDonald. I'd be just like him.
I wish I wasn't sober. I miss it when the party wasn't over. Happiness was right around the corner. Every single night was like the best one of our lives. Now we're older. The good old days are out of reach. I wish that they were closer. I wish I wasn't anxious, and I wish I could fast forward. And I wish that I could rewind, but they don't make that controller. I wish the nights were longer, and I wish the days were shorter. And I wish that I could sleep enough to maintain my composure. I feel crazy. I wish that I was normal. I wish that I could kill myself, but also be immortal. Take me to the oracle. I heard that time is borrowed. Can you give me back my yesterdays? I'll give you my tomorrows. Forget all of my morals and just live like I cannot remember sorrow. Before all of the tattoos and the cornrows, I was different, I was happy, I was calmer, I was young and full of hormones. Now I'm wishing for a time machine, I'd step into that portal and be gone.
Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are again. Back at it. Had a couple of fun days with old friends. Who unfortunately all had to leave today, and they were here under unfortunate circumstances. Anyways, it's always, never fun to have to go someplace for services for somebody. But Josh Robertson, it was good to have you in the studio last night. Good to see my brother and Jared and Kristen. It was awesome having you guys here. I wish you could have stayed longer, but I understand your need to get back, and I look forward to the next time we meet up. You guys are like family, so it's good to have you here. Anyhow, today we're going to start off with the first thing I wanted to bring up, and I've talked about this a few times, is the Disinformation Governance Board that was implemented with Nina Jankowicz as the czar of the Ministry of Truth. They've paused that. They've walked it back now, which is good. That's a good thing. Nobody wanted that. So thank goodness that happened. And if you did want that, then you know what, you get what you deserve. Because anybody who was in favor of a disinformation governance board headed by somebody who'd given out more disinformation than anybody else. Well, not anybody else, but Nina Jankowicz gave out quite a bit of disinformation. And she also wrote a book called Being a Woman on the Internet. I don't know what that's all about. I thought what we were looking for was like gender equity, treating men and women the same, right? So I don't really understand the purpose of a publication of a book like that. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. But, that's just me. What do I know? I could be wrong. So anyway, she turned in her resignation. I believe it was today. So she's gone. She's done. We don't have to worry about listening to Mary Poppins anymore. Thank God. Oh my God, what a crazy person. And then she came out and she sang, she was doing that Christmas pageantry where she said, who do I have to fuck to get ahead or whatever it was. What a goofball. And this is who, that Mayorkas, that idiot, he can't even, he can't even say anything other than, when they're grilling him, he's just, I have to take responsibility. I must take responsibility. It's ultimately my responsibility. Well, okay. What the hell does that even mean? They're asking him, did anybody even do any research on this woman? Did anybody even look into her background or her past or anything? Nope. She was all about the Steele dossier. She thought that thing was 100% legit, even though it was bought and paid for by the DNC and Hillary Clinton, who was fined a measly $8,000. Where is that money going to the Ukraine bill? We won't get into that yet. I'm just going to play this stupid nonsense here, though. If I can find it. Let's see. Let us see. Yeah, this was a TikTok video that she came out with, so I think I can play this on here. Let me bring this up. I'm sure everybody's heard it already. Everybody's heard it, but you know what? We're just going to play it just for fun anyhow. just because this is just really just, I mean, what a psychotic.
Pondering is really quite ferocious. It's when a huckster takes some lies and makes them sound precocious by saying them in Congress or a mainstream outlet. So disinformation's origins are slightly less atrocious. It's how you hide a little lie. It's how you hide a little lie. It's how you hide a little lie. When Rudy Giuliani shared that intel from Ukraine, or when TikTok influencers say COVID can cause pain, they're laundering disinfo and we really should take note and not support their lies with our wallet voice or vote. Oh, information laundering is really quite ferocious. It's when a huckster takes some lies and makes them sound precocious by saying them in Congress or mainstream outlets. So disinformation's origin seems slightly less atrocious.
Wow. Yeah, we're going to turn that off. That's enough of that shit. So she's gone. Thank goodness. Good Lord. How in the world could you put somebody like that in charge of anything other than like a fucking cat litter box or something? I mean, where in the, I mean, I'm just sitting there still, I got to get her off my screen because that is just, that's, I mean, wow. Whew. You want to talk about a nut job? It's amazing how some of these people end up in the positions that they end up in. Isn't it? Isn't it just crazy? Literally and figuratively, but more so literally. I mean, my goodness, that woman, holy crap. And of course, then you've got, you know, I keep seeing all this stuff coming up from these, whatever you call them, these goofballs that, they think that Trump's going to be taken over again as the, I don't know, the 17th president and 77th Congress. Or I'm looking up here. I keep getting these things. I don't know why they're coming up here. It's like these Goonie birds. Trump has been reinstated. Big news. And it's just you click on these things, and this is from El Goo Plays. You've got Juan O. Savin, that guy. I mean. You know, don't buy into that stuff, people. You know, come on. 107. Guy's driving around in an Alfa Romero with his big bucket cowboy hat on and his big ass cowboy boots. You know, going to make a big splash. But it's all, you know, he can't show his face. Guy can't ever show his face. I mean, obviously there's a film crew out there like he's all incognito going down the highway, and they got people up ahead of him, people behind him filming him. Doesn't show his face. Just sits there and goes, I don't need to be patient. Just wait, because Donald Trump is coming back to deal with Jesus Christ to the rapture, and we're all going to go and eat snow cones together, but don't eat the yellow ones, because those Democrats made them. I swear to God. Just, you know, can we get some reasonable people out there? Just some reasonable people. Just, you know, that's all we need. I mean, you've got, it looks like the Azov, which are the Ukrainian Nazis. Now, here we go. Every time. I need to just have something to click to have some kind of musical interlude when that happens. It looks like the Azov, they said they surrendered. I don't necessarily think it was a surrender. I think they just locked him in this building. They were apparently in this old, it was some kind of a Russian structure. They said it went like many floors below ground. So it was a subterranean structure. And the Russians basically just surrounded it. Apparently the Azov took human hostages to use as human shields. So they extracted Ukrainian people and took them down there. So this is a battalion, this is a regiment, this is a group of like 270 that actually snagged up people from their country and held them hostage down there. The Russians apparently surrounded the building. They could have just flooded it. I mean, they're down there that far below ground. There's got to be vents. I mean, all you got to do is just hook up a fire hose. You just flood the place out. They just waited them out, and they came out, I guess. And it looked like, from what I saw, the Russians actually treated them fairly decently for being neo-Nazi, you know, nut jobs that we were, by the way, coincidentally funding, allegedly. They passed the $40 billion. And I'm sitting in here, I'm wondering where's that money, where's that come from? Well, I'm going to tell you where it's going anyhow. okay, I believe there's 19.7 billion, okay, is going to the Department of Defense. How about that? So out of the 40 billion, 19 billion is going to the Department of Defense. Now, what did I say about this? I said this is what it was going to be. And guess where that's going to go? You think Lloyd Austin had anything to do with that? Allegedly? I don't know. I mean, he, allegedly was, an individual that had quite a position with Raytheon. What do? Oh, yeah. They build shit that blows people up. So we got 19.7 billion. So almost half the bill is going immediately to the Department of Defense. Ukraine gets 6 billion for humanitarian aid. Okay. Where do you think that's going to go? Allegedly. I don't know. Might some oligarchs see a piece of that? Allegedly. See, I'm learning from Salty Cracker how to use that word. Hopefully it pays off because he gets away with saying a lot of stuff that nobody else does. And I think that's how he's doing it. Allegedly. It's like on Letterkenny when they're talking about Boots and the Ginger. You know they fucked an ostrich. Allegedly. $9 billion is going to replenish arms stocks that have been sent to Ukraine, and that goes to the Pentagon. Now, how is that different from the Department of Defense? I mean, it's just like BlackRock and State Street and Vanguard, diversifying between the 3 or 4 of, I'm trying to remember the other big one, but, to avoid the monopoly thing, they all, they kind of just diversify, but they're all the same dudes, the same people, the same, it's just, a different fucking name on paper. It's all just a scam. 4.35 billion in global food and humanitarian aid is going to the U.S. Agency for International Development. And then another 700 million in global food funding is going to the Department of State. So let's do the math there. What do we have? 19.7 billion plus another 9 billion. Okay. So that's all going basically to the Department of Defense. The 19.7 is supposedly going to DOD, and then the 9 is going to the Pentagon to replenish the arms stocks that we've been, flying over there on a daily basis. And that's true. A couple 1, 2, 3 flights a day, sending this shit over there. So you got 19.7 plus 9. What's that add up to? 28.7 billion. Okay. And then we've got another 4.3, so that puts us up to 32? We got 6, 38. And then we have our 700 million. And then, yeah. Anyway, that's where your money's going, folks. That is what your representatives, that's what your representative government just appropriated. We have a homeless problem. We have no baby formula on the shelves. That's nice, huh? Isn't that lovely? I saw today where 2 infants had died. This is something that the government knew about 3 months ago. Didn't do anything about. They don't care. Let me reiterate this. They do not care. They don't care about you. They don't care. Period. Bottom line. So when you wear your I voted sticker, just remember what you're voting for. You're voting for just bullshit. Nothing. You're voting for these jackasses that sit there and they grandstand, they gaslight, and they're only concerned about themselves. They don't give a damn about you. They don't give a damn about me. They really just care about themselves. Bottom line. Bottom line. Think about it. That's all I'm saying. When you sit here and you want to strike these, take these party lines and, I'm this, I'm that. You're crazy. If you think that any of them even give a damn about you, you're nuts. The only one out there that showed any bit of balls, any bit of, morality, any bit of ethics was Rand Paul. You know, I mean, Tom Massey, I believe he voted no. I'd have to look and see. I can't sit here and quote right now without having it in front of me. I don't want to give out any mis or disinformation. Does anybody know the difference between misinformation and disinformation? I'll just, because at first, you know, it's like, well, we should just call it one thing or the other, but no, they're different. One of them is done on purpose to mislead, and one of them is done out of ignorance. Okay, so your disinformation is meant to mislead, even though it doesn't start with miss, and then, you know, the other way around for the other one. It doesn't really matter, because, I mean, the fact of the matter is the whole thing is just stupid. I mean, I believe that we're smart enough as people to, you know, smell bullshit when it comes up, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong, because look at what we got going on right now. Apparently we can't. You know, but hey, Joe Biden got 81 million votes, allegedly. And that's just irrefutable, and it's just undoubtable, and there's nothing but 100% truth behind the fact that he spent 50 days in a basement prior to the election, and he sold out a couple of used car lots, allegedly, and, you know, got more votes than any presidential candidate in the history of this country, allegedly. It just can't be, you know, they can't be questioned, people. You can't question these things. You cannot do that, because if you question things, then you're thinking critically, and that is just not even something that you're allowed to do. You just need to listen to what they're telling you, and just bury your head in the sand and keep plugging along at your shitty cheese job. Punch in, punch out, go to work, go back home. You know, you get a couple days a week for yourself. Go back in on Monday. Monday is the biggest day of the week for heart attacks. Did you know that? I wonder why that is. Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays. Kind of weird, isn't it? Kind of weird. If work was such a great thing, you'd think Monday would be the biggest day for heart attacks. But that's all you're told growing up. You need to go get you an education. Go to college. Get you a good job. So you have to dress up like a goofball every day, put your suit and tie on. I mean, I know that everybody's probably seen it, but I mean, could you imagine walking down the streets, going to work in the morning in New York City? I mean, people don't even look at one another. You know what I mean? And then you got the nonsense that goes on. You got people being, you know, God knows what goes on those subways. I sure am thankful that I live here. I mean, I don't know. I certainly wouldn't want to be in a city or anywhere near any of that right now. Especially with fuel prices. I think I heard today that Jackson Hinkle said that he saw fuel prices at $8 a gallon in California. And I've not been even driving my truck really, here and there just a little bit, but I mean, I don't know what diesel prices are at, but we're facing a diesel shortage too, so I don't know what I'm going to do there. I'll be driving the old gasser, I guess. It's just fine. It's no big deal. At least that thing doesn't have much of a computer on it. It's just got a little brain. And it's easy to work on, but you know, parts don't cost like one injector for that diesel truck. I got a good price rate. It's about $230. It's got 8 of those, and they're fun to replace. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. It doesn't matter. I don't really have to go anywhere. Everybody's going to be running out here when it all goes down. You know what I mean? I mean, we've got there's no baby food. Or formula, I should say. I don't mean to put out any kind of mis or disinformation. It's formula, people. Similac or whatever it's called. I don't know. But apparently it's being allegedly stockpiled at the borders, allegedly pallets full. There was a congressperson from Florida who was on the news saying that this was a fact. I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I can't say that it's anything other than what I saw or heard. So, see, I'm catching on. I'm learning how not to get behind anything. It's all alleged. It's all according to and allegedly. But yeah. So anyway, the Azov, the neo-Nazi battalion, allegedly surrendered. Some people are saying it was a surrender. Some are saying it wasn't. And you don't know what you're seeing on the TV anyways. You don't know what you're seeing on the news. You don't know, where this even happened. When we put our trust in these organizations that consistently just put out garbage. And then we see it and we jump right behind it. None of us knows where the $40 billion is coming from for this stupid bill and why they had to push it through so quick. Bernie Sanders was one that you would thought would have been jumping up and opposing this. He said, the 1% or the 10% or the 15% or the 2% need to push this thing through. Why? Why? If it's so, that they're making out this Volodymyr Zelensky to be this great bastion of hope for global democracy in a country where he shut down the opposition party, in a country where he, they took a citizen of the United States who was a journalist over there that was saying things they didn't like, and they jammed him up and took his cell phone, his computer, made him sign a non-disclosure agreement, held him in there for a week, and as far as I know, he's still awaiting a trial. For what? I don't know. Is that democracy? Because that's not free speech. But we don't have free speech in this country now, do we? Because I have to sit here and say allegedly behind every single thing I say. So is that free speech? Nope. It sure isn't. It is not. We can't even say, the way we feel about something. And we can't even listen to what somebody else says if they don't agree to us or agree with us. How stupid is that? How stupid is that? Ladies and gentlemen, and I'm not even supposed to say that anymore. They can't say it at Disney World anymore during the electrical parade. They used to open up the electrical parade at night with ladies and gentlemen. Now they can't even say that because you don't even, who knows what is. We have a Supreme Court justice who can't define what a woman is. I just heard a lady say that men could get pregnant and have abortions. I just heard that. I don't know. I'm not a medical doctor, just like Ketanji Brown Jackson isn't a biologist, so who knows? Maybe we've split off into some alternate universe where everything's not as it seems. Sure seems that way, though. I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no, maybe not, maybe so. Maybe that kid Max is right when he says that we skewed into an alternate universe when that Large Hadron Collider smashed those two particles together. His thought is that that's where the Mandela effect came from, and that's what happened is we were skewed into an alternate universe. And hey, man, that kid might be right. He's a smart kid, way smarter than I am. I mean, it's a cool video to watch. Max Laughlin, this kid's name, but and he lays it out in a pretty convincing fashion, And I mean, the kid's dad's sitting there filming it, and the kid's dad just looked at him like, "Holy cow, kid! Like, what are you saying?" I would say check it out, Max Laughlin, and he talks about the Mandela effect. I think if you just go to YouTube, and all you got to do is just put the kid's name in. He's probably not even a kid anymore. I think this was quite some time ago that he came out with this video, but the way he lays it out, we're talking like string theory and stuff like that, which is, I mean, a lot of that stuff is way over my head. Yeah, this kid's got tons of videos out there. He's a real, I mean, it's bright kid. I don't even know how old he is now. I think he was 13 when he made this. I'm not sure what year this was even put out. Well, let's just take a look. Yeah, 5 years ago. So he's 18. He's a man now. So smart kid. He could be right. We could be skewed off into some goofy alternate universe. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't doubt it. I mean, how can you? I mean, because this stuff going on is just stranger than fiction. I mean, you got this expert that this Mayorkas puts in there for the Ministry of Truth. She resigns. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just so nuts. And then we're so dumb that we vote for this stuff. And, you know, we bet everything on it. It's just ridiculous. So anyway, I just wanted to explain where this $40 billion is going. Now, I don't even know where the $40 billion is coming from because they certainly don't have, you know, that kind of money from, you know, people's taxes. It's just all made up. It's all phony, people. It's fake. It's phony. It doesn't exist. That's why it's called fiat currency. So what they're doing is they're just doing another upstroke of the keypad. It's going to the, you know, it's going to go to the military-industrial complex. So $6 billion is all that's going to Ukraine. And if you think that's going to get to the Ukrainian people, I have a feeling, folks, that you might allegedly be wrong. I mean, I don't necessarily see that happening. I don't know. I mean, from some of the stuff that I've seen about Zelensky, allegedly, and, you know, I mean, whatever. You guys can do your own homework on it. I'm not going to sit here and do your homework for you. I'm just saying that all this stuff is worth looking into if you so have the inclination. What I would advise you to do is to stock up on dry goods, canned goods. If you have gas cans, the price is only going to get higher. So I would advise you to fill those things up and go get yourself, if you don't know about this, everybody in Wyoming probably does. It's a additive called Stabil, Stabil. You put it in your fuel and the shelf life will last longer. Because just gasoline sitting there in a can is not going to last, you know, it's not going to be good after a month or so. So you have to have some way to stabilize it. Hence, I'm just giving a plug for this company. But I use it. I use that, or I put that mystery oil and stuff. Things. But you definitely have to put an additive in it. But I would look into getting a generator. Whether it be gas powered or solar powered would be ideal. I don't even know what a solar powered generator is going to even run you, to tell you the truth. I mean, solar panels are absolutely ridiculous. That's what's crazy is they think that we're all just going to go out and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on this green energy. You know, go drop $100,000 on a electric car. The thing's not going to run with the grid going down anyways. I mean, nothing's going to run. I mean, anything that's new has got a computer in it. If the grid goes down, that thing ain't going to work. It ain't going to run. But I tell you what will. My old Honda XR250R will run, and so will my 85 F-150. I can tell you that. Let's just see what a solar-powered generator runs for. Yeah, all right, just, let's see. Oh, here's one for $1,650. Another one for $2,500. Another one for $6,200. Let's go on this high end. Let's see what this will actually run. Let's see how many watts this thing puts out. 2,160 watt capacity, 2,200 watts AC power, and 4,400 peak power. Solar generator, $6,200. Anybody got that kicking around? Fastest solar recharging yet. powering the majority of appliances and tools for outdoor activities and home emergency use, pellet smokers, mini coolers, e-bikes, refrigerators, air conditioners, and more. And it needs 6 Solar Saga 200-watt solar panels, and it can recharge it in under 2.5 hours, and in just 2 hours via AC wall outlet, which I guess we want to charge the thing up. So I don't know if this even comes with the batteries. You might have to buy the batteries extra. They might be. I'm trying to see. Okay, the one for $6,200, that does come with your 6 Solar Saga 200s. And they got one down as low as $3,600. That's... you got to put these solar panels out in the field, it looks like. I'm not trying to promote anybody's product here. I'm just looking at the first one that came up. So it looks like in just 2.5 hours solar, it'll charge up. I mean, if I had the money, I suppose, you know what I mean? But a generator is only going to get you so far unless you do have a solar generator. And that's something that might not be a bad thing into looking into. I don't know if you get them used or there's cheaper ones out there. But nobody knows what's going to happen. But here's the thing. If we do have some kind of a power thing, EMP, and this could come from the sun too, because we've been having crazy solar activity, you know. I mean, if you know, I would encourage you guys to go back and search up the Carrington event and look and see what happened then. See what that did. We just missed one of these. Yeah, the Carrington event, 1859. Hey, I've been right on that. Every time I've mentioned that, I've said 1859 and I've been right on the money. I think that might have been the same year that they created baby formula. Weird. It's kind of odd that those two events would have gone side by side. But this was a global thing. They even turned off the power to the telegraph stations and they still worked. That's how much energy just immediately lit up the atmosphere. Pretty crazy stuff. And we've been having a lot of similar activity. I mean, they're talking about super flares. There's, like I said, there was one that missed us not too long ago. So, I mean, you got to look out for that too. I mean, it could be any number of things, but if that were to happen, they said within a year, 90% of humanity is dead. Within a month, people are dying, and I would say sooner than that. There's people that have to have power. I mean, look at people that need dialysis, people that are on, you know, any kind of a ventilator, anything like that. And then everything goes down too. People aren't able to get their medications because you can't do transactions. You can't get any fuel. You can't do anything. You're not going to be able to, I mean, people aren't going to be able to stay warm. I mean, if something like that were to happen in the wintertime, I mean, you're going to have a lot of problems. So, and the fact of the matter is that the people in charge just do not care. Or it's all by design. You know, we had this incident that happened in Buffalo, and what a terrible thing. What a terrible thing. It's kind of weird, though, that they won't put out the manifesto that kid had written. Over 100 pages is what they said, allegedly, in which he declared to be now don't quote me on this, but he said he was a green leftist Nazi. And so they're coming out and saying that it's Tucker Carlson's fault, and that this is another, that is a right-wing crazy person, basically. Yeah, he was nuts. And he was on law enforcement's, like, he was on their radar. That's the other thing. When these things happen, it's always somebody that's been on the radar. You know? But, I mean, I guess it doesn't necessarily make it law enforcement's fault, because their hands are tied on a lot of these things, they said the guy he'd threatened his school previously. They took him and he went out for evaluation, and I guess he was only in there for, I don't know, a day or two, something, not even that long, and back out again. And it's just too bad that these things have to happen. It's very unfortunate. I don't know why people out there feel the need to kill other people. But you have psychopaths. You have sociopaths, you have narcissists, you have all these, they don't make up a big percentage of the population, but boy, they sure do raise hell when they poke their ugly head out of the ground, don't they? It's mind-boggling. And this kid, he's just a kid. He's going to prison for life. He's not going to have a good time. So, but he was old enough to make his decision to do what he did, I guess, I think I saw he was 18. 18 isn't even, in my mind, that isn't even an adult yet, though. You're still a kid. Your brain doesn't even quit, it doesn't even stop forming until you're like 25 years old. So at 18, you're still an impressionable, and it sounds like this kid was, I don't know. I don't know anything about him. I don't want to put him out there, give him any more notoriety or whatever than he's already gotten. So I'm not saying his name. I'm not even going to say his initials, because I feel like when people do that with these idiots, that it gives them what they want. And that's what a lot of these people are doing. They're just looking for the notoriety. So I don't know. Anyway, I guess that's all I got on my notebook. I was just happy that the Ministry of Truth is gone. That's a good thing. They're not gone. They're still there. You're still getting censored. You're still getting watched. You're still getting surveilled, allegedly. That didn't change. It's just now you're not going to have some crazy Mary Poppins wannabe singing songs about it. Which, hey, I guess in my mind, that's a step in the right direction. So anyway, once again, I'm just going to cut it short tonight from the Mike File. It's 52 miles east of Jellystone Park in Coyote, Wyoming. I'm your host, Michael File, and I'll leave you with the mantra I usually do. Be good or be good at it. In all things, be kind and do no harm. I'm going to take us out with a little bit of, let's go with some Brandon Hart. And what we opened up with was some Tom McDonald. Much love to those two cats. And I'll leave you with this little slideshow. I'm sure nobody's watching anyways. If you are, thank you. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Doesn't hurt you. Helps me. I sure would appreciate it. All right. Later days.
Up all night trying to figure this out. I drank a half a bottle of whiskey, sat down on my couch.